about their story. So what they studied, what did they do to achieve the position what they have now, what was their trigger to enter nuclear, and why, and their maybe what was their motivation, and maybe message for you. And afterwards, after the 3 presentations of the panelists which we have today, I will be happy to present your questions. So I'm activating after the questions and answer sessions, and you can raise your hand with your tool what you have and put the questions to the panelists. So we start. Okay, so today we start with, yeah, I'm not sure if you, I hope you saw all my, heard my, okay, I will be showing you now the presentation. So, Eileen, would you like to start your story?
Hello, so I'm Eileen Langecker from Austria. My background is physics, so I studied in Austria in universities of Graz and in Vienna, where I did also my master's degree in nuclear security area. And somehow by chance during my studies, I was introduced to somebody who was working in a nuclear power plant in Germany and asked me if I didn't want to join. So for 3 years during summertime and also during my study time, I was doing revision work, outages work there. Then I got hired by the IAEA, being a consultant to Safeguards Department. And later on, I joined my company where I'm currently working in, and where I'm also now the head of the interim storage here in Austria. Well, this is one part of the story. The other part of the story is that I got introduced and motivated to do networking, first in Austria, of course, and later on European level. And this is why I was chair of the ENS YGM from 2015 to 2017. And since last year, I'm a lecturer at universities in Vienna and in Graz. Emilia, next slide, please. So I do work in a very challenging environment. As I'm working in Austria, I think you probably know that we do have a very anti-nuclear country. We have a very anti-nuclear country. So not only during my work time, I end up in pro or anti-nuclear discussions, but also in my private life, this often happens. So being at a friend's event, at some point you always end up, is it pro or con? And also it's a very male dominant environment. So even though if I have Andre, who was a mentor to me and he later on to you, I still have sometimes issues in my work environment, in my networking environment that I have to face. But still, it's a huge chance if you're a woman. It's a niche sector, so it will be, people will always remember you being the female talking in front of you and not one of the males talking. So this is something that you can use for your advantage. Next slide, please. And I think quite easy challenges are there to be faced. So if you see something, or if somebody asks you, can you do it for me? Then you just say, yes, of course, I will. At some point it will work out, even though it's sometimes hard, but it's always fun. Okay, that's my part, and I'm looking forward to get your questions.
Okay, thank you very much, Eileen. And this was very good and very personal insights from you. I would like to present you the second. It's Eleonora Lambridis from Italy. Eleonora, please present yourself.
I'm from Italy. I actually graduated and studied nuclear engineering in Italy, and then I moved to Paris and then to Belgium. I really started by studying energy production at the University of Rome La Sapienza, so studying all different types of power plants to produce electricity. And then during my master's degree, I specialized in nuclear because the more I was learning about this technology, the more it got interesting, and I realized how it involved many different aspects of different technical matters, and I decided therefore to pursue really the master in this area. After that, I actually decided to complement my technical knowledge with more general economics and finance knowledge, doing a master in business administration. That was when I was already in Belgium. So I really started my work experience with an internship that I did in Arriva in Paris as the final project for my master thesis. And after that, I had different options, either to continue a career in corporate or to start a PhD. I went ahead to do interviews for both, and finally I decided to continue in the corporate world, and I joined Westinghouse in Belgium as an engineer, where I started by really doing safety analysis and thermal hydraulic analysis for different power plants in Europe. And little by little, I grew into the company, and then I started in a different department as innovation lead in 2015. And today, I'm the manager of an open innovation program that we are running in the company, always from the Belgium office. And during my both study life and work experience, I always try to engage with peers, and therefore I join different type of activities in order to support either the young generation in the nuclear networks or the professional community in the MBA area, I would say. And that leads really to today. If you move to the next slide, please. I have some insight on the internalization. As you have seen, I started from Italy, and then I thought, okay, what are the options out there? And I knew that I wanted to know more of what was going on in the industry outside of Italy. So I applied for an opportunity of an internship in Paris. And similarly, when I was looking for a job after the experience in Paris, I knew that I wanted to remain in international community. Therefore, my first recommendation is really, you have to work on identifying your objectives. Where do you want to go? What are the things that matter to you? Based on that, then you can search for specific opportunities and apply to, for example, job openings that you would find across the different countries or regions. And also, one important aspect is that you shouldn't be afraid of going somewhere where you don't know anybody or they don't necessarily speak your mother tongue, because I mean, you're studying nuclear, or you're thinking to continue your path in nuclear, so language should not really be of any constraint to you. So you should. My recommendation is to always be open to opportunities and push yourself to stretch and look for, okay, I think I can do this, but can I do more? Can I work on something new and something different? And to be able to do that, also continuous learning is important. And for example, that's the reason why I decided to go back to the classroom and to the books with a master after I already had a master in nuclear engineering. So because I think that the learning process is very important at all stages of one's development. On the next slide, please. My final message to you is therefore that you have to believe in your dreams and work towards the objectives that you have in mind, because that is definitely possible as long as you believe in that.
Okay, thank you very much. Now we have a speaker, Andrei Goicha, who was kindly jumping into the webinar 20 minutes ago. Andrei, do you have maybe your slides, or would you like to say a few words just without the background information?
There is an issue with my headset, but anyway, I will. I sent to you one slide about my background.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
So that was all I could have done in such a short time. So greetings everyone from Kiev. I'm really glad to step into this first webinar organized by Emilia. Some words about my background. Maybe Emilia can put the slides that I was preparing. So I started. My background is nuclear engineering, and
Andrei, do you see the slide now?
Yes, I can see. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
But I know anyway what is on the slide.
Just to confirm.
So I graduated both nuclear engineering and economics in Romania in 2002. I did them in parallel. Yeah, that shows a little bit of struggling between the two areas. I was thinking about where to go. But of course, after I graduated, you'll see later on, I was choosing the nuclear field. I have also a master's degree in nuclear and many other courses later on, including World Nuclear University Summer Institute. As work experience, I just after I graduated, I had the chance to start working in Nuclear Electrica, the operator of the nuclear power plants in Romania. And I worked there for 10 years, starting as an engineer, as a junior engineer, then senior engineer, and when I left, I was already a department manager. Then I moved to Slovakia, where I worked for 2 years in Mohovce Unit 3 and 4 project as a deputy project manager. A very challenging task, and I remember as a technical guy, I remember that times that I liked a lot. And then yeah, I moved to Belgium, and I started work at Foratom as senior manager, and starting from April this year, I'm executive manager. Not to say that I like also very much what I'm doing here, but I shifted totally from the technical tasks to policy ones. I found the change also very challenging and very interesting, and yeah, I like it, and definitely for a while I'll be here. Other activities, I didn't have time to write some, yeah, because I had some extra professional activities, I would call them, and I got involved for a while in European Nuclear Society Young Generation Network, being at one point the vice president and the president from 2011 to 2013. Then I got also involved in the International Youth Nuclear Congress IYNC for the ones who knows about this organization, being involved in some congresses, also in some committees. I'm saying about the extra professional activities because I found them very, very important in the personal development, because many of let's say the professional activities are interacting at one point with the extra professional activities. You are expanding the network of the people you know in the nuclear field, and not only. And yeah, it's bringing a lot of benefits. Even though volunteering sometimes can be tiring, but yeah, we have to do some efforts now and then. The second slide, what was about, Emilia? Okay.
Your insights, your motivation also for the motivation message for and your challenges that you were facing on the way.
Well, in Romania, I should say a little bit some words about how I got into the nuclear field. So I started as I was a technical guy. I knew from the high school, so I started to study at Polytechnical Institute. But among all those sciences like transport, IT, I was choosing energy because I found it the most interesting. All the others being more or less I could have get information by self-education, so it wasn't an issue. But I saw that the energy field is very interesting, and I can learn only being graduating that faculty. And then in the third grade, I was supposed to choose the department. And to be honest, at that time, the nuclear department was seen a little bit controversial, and I like that. I like that controversy, and I still like it because, for example, when I arrived in Foratom, this is actually the message towards the politicians. Yes, nuclear can be a controversial sector, but if you are getting more information about it, you'll find out that it's not having so many controversies, and all those myths can be debunked. What else? I cannot say that, as Eileen said, very male dominant. It's definitely not something that I can discuss about.
Is there any motto, any motivation that led you always? And
yeah, this is what I said. It's more or less the controversy, but also the innovation of the sector is well ahead many other sectors in terms of technology, and a lot of other sectors are getting examples from the nuclear field. I would give the example of the redundancy in the aviation sector, which was actually taken at one point from the nuclear field. And yeah, I saw that there is a message to you. There is a message that I heard several times, and the last time I heard it this summer. It's a message. It's a general message for any professional, not only the one working in the nuclear. It's saying the comfort zone is not your friend. So get out of the comfort zone. Don't try to stick to the, let's say, to the energy sectors which are clear and which are how to say, not so controversial, and join the nuclear sector, which sometimes may get out of your comfort zone in the discussions with the others, but you can make a big difference with your knowledge.
Thank you very much, Andrei. So now it's time for questions.